Been trying to do this video for a while now. I had it on my plans. I keep forgetting to do it. Anyway, so what happened was, let me give you a backstory. Does the butter that you use when cooking with cast irons matter? And I found out that it absolutely does, and I kind of found it out by accident. So what happened was, back in June, because of this great economy, the company I had worked for 15 years decided to downsize. I got let go. I was looking for some ways to save some money because every little bit helps. And I switched butter that I was using. The butter was like $2 a tub cheaper, and I bought it. And almost immediately, I started to notice weird things. And let me just tell you that about the only time that I use butter that's in a tub is if I'm making cookies or if I'm making pancakes in a skillet or using it for basically in my cast iron cooking. So I had always used Country Crock butter for years and years and years, and that's what I had experience with. But I switched over to Blue Bonnet, and immediately everything started sticking in my cast iron pans. My cookies weren't turning out right, all kinds of things. So now I'm going to show you side by side the difference. On this side is the butter Blue Bonnet that I bought to replace what I had been buying for years, which is Country Crock. Again, I use these mostly in cast iron cooking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of hope that this works. I actually rinsed out this pan, which is normally something I never do. And I'm going to use Blue Bonnet in it for the first pancakes and show you how they stick. And then I'll switch over to Country Crock and show you how the sticking goes away. So I'm going to use the Blue Bonnet first. My pan has been heating up, so it should be and automatically, one of the things that I noticed is that this Blue Bonnet seems to have a lower melting temperature than the Country Crock. So I have the temperature set where I normally would have it at to make pancakes, and it just evaporates into nothing. You see that there's like no butter is actually forming in this pan. Like there is hardly any butter in that pan. So first thing I need to do, turn the temperature down a little bit, put some more butter in there. Hopefully it don't evaporate. Alright, go ahead and put my pancake mix in. Automatically, I can feel the pancake is sticking to the pan. And the other side is also sticking. So let me go ahead and put some more butter in here. And some more pancake mix. And one thing is too, when the spatula slides across the pan, it has a sticky feeling to it. Like it's catching on the pan, even the wooden is. I'm going to go ahead and set a timer on this. I usually set timers when I make pancakes. I do a minute per side. So again, when you like push the spatula across the pan, it feels like it's got some resistance, like the wood is trying to stick to the pan, was kind of the point that I was trying to make there. So literally the moment I started using this Blue Bonnet butter, like my eggs were sticking to the pan, my pancakes were sticking to the pan, everything I used in cast iron was sticking that shouldn't have been. And then I kind of noticed over time that like I had to turn the temperature down more on my pans because the butter evaporated so quickly. I started to notice that like even the wooden spatula felt like it was sticking on the pan. Again, it's sticking on the bottom. I'm having to scrape to get this released. You can actually see the pancake is wrinkled where it stuck to the pan and tore. So basically, when I first bought this butter, I used it for about 2 or 3 weeks. I actually thought, well, maybe my pans just need to be seasoned with this butter and it'd be okay. So I actually wiped the pans down with a coat of the butter and seasoned them in the oven using just the butter, the way that I would normally season pans, and that actually made them worse. Which is the craziest thing ever. So I literally went out and just stopped using this butter. Like I probably used a little more than half of the container of it, and then I just went out and bought Country Crock. I ain't gonna like waste food because it was aggravating to me. But this will be stuck to now. Again, sticking to the bottom of the pan. You can actually see where it's stuck to the pan. So now let's do the Country Crock. Might have to do 2 pancakes because the first one's going to have that other butter in there too at the same time. About the same amount of butter. You'll see this has a higher melting point and it doesn't evaporate as quickly. I never touched the temperature on the stove, but look at how much of this butter is pulling up in this pan and not just evaporating as soon as it hits it. So I'll go ahead and do the pour. Set the timer. I'm going to put this Blue Bonnet butter back in the refrigerator. The point I'm trying to make though is if you have food sticking in a cast iron pan, it could be something as simple as your butter that you're using or the oil that you're using. So that would be the first thing you'd want to try, is switching the oil or the butter that you're using in the pan. Now, this won't be stuck anywhere. Look, the whole pancake slid across. Again, so if you are having troubles with food sticking in cast iron pan and the pan is seasoned correctly, the first thing you need to suspect is that whatever oil or grease or butter that you're using is the culprit to the problem. And it's kind of funny that I've cooked with cast iron most of my adult life and never knew that, because I had never switched. You know, I use whatever, like I am so set in my ways, I would have never changed butter or oils that I use or any of that stuff. I buy the same brands every time. But what changed was I lost my job. I was trying to save a couple bucks, and right off the bat, aggravation. I'll show you too. This one also isn't going to stick. Well, it actually did a little bit, but I think it was sticking because there's still some of that stuck on there from the last butter. But I'll go ahead and do one more time to show you this. I'm not even going to use as much butter this time because a lot of this is still in here from the last time. You should be able to clearly see the difference though between the two butters. Not only in how the pancakes don't stick with the Country Crock, but they do with the Blue Bonnet, but also the fact that the Country Crock butter remains in the pan. It doesn't just evaporate right away. And the Blue Bonnet, even though I turned the skillet down, just evaporated. As soon as it hits the heat, it evaporates. The butter wouldn't even pull up inside the pan at a temperature suitable for cooking pancakes. Again, this should just slide across the skillet. Probably actually needs about another 10 or 15 seconds. I can kind of tell by how quickly the bubbles are still popping. Didn't stick at all. Stuck a little bit that time, but again, I think that it's because the center of this pan actually has a little bit of stuff stuck to it. Like I can feel it when the spatula goes across. It's still sticky from the other butter. So anyways, you guys, I hope you learned something from this the way that I had to learn the hard way. I thought I was going to save some money. It added a whole lot of frustration to my life because I cook only in cast iron, and when my food was sticking, I was ruining meals. I pulled all my hair out, look. Anyways, if you find information like this helpful, I am all the time trying to teach people about how I live my homesteading lifestyle. Self-sufficient. I raise, grow, hunt, forage, barter most of the food that I eat. And I just try to live a simple lifestyle. I'm very frugal with money, so the fact that I bought butter to save money and then ended up costing me in the long run because it was just so frustrating with all the issues that it created. Anyways, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, God bless you, God bless your families, God bless your homesteads.